नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं वाचं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् चितं ते पुण्डरीकाक्ष नमस्ते विश्वभावन नमस्तेऽस्तु हृषीकेश महापुरुषपूर्वज सदक्षरं ब्रह्म य ईश्वरः पुमान् गुणोर्मि सृष्टिस्थितिकालसल्लयः प्रधानबुद्ध्यादिजगत्प्रपञ्चसूः सनोऽस्तु विष्णुर्मतिभूतिमुक्तिदः पर्णमूलफलाहारः केशश्मश्रुजटाधरः भूमिशायी भवेत्तत्र मुनिः सर्वातिथिः नृप चर्मकाशकुशैः कुर्यात् परिधानोत्तरीयके तद्वत् त्रिश्रवणं स्नानं शस्तम् अस्य नरेश्वर देवताभ्यर्चनं होमः सर्वाभ्यागत पूजनं सर्व अभ्यागतपूजनं भिक्षाबलिप्रदानं च शस्तमस्य नरेश्वर वन्यस्नेहेन गात्राणाम् अभ्यङ्गश्च अस्य शस्यते तपश्च तस्य राजेन्द्र शीतोष्णादि सहिष्णुता. Aurva is giving the rules of varnashrama or varnashrama dharmaha. He is explaining the dharmas with related to varnas and ashrama. So after completing the varna dharma, now he has gone into the ashrama dharma. In the ashrama dharmas, we looked at brahmacharya and grihastha dharma. Now we are almost finished with the vanaprastha. This is the end of it. So when a person finishes his duty at home and he can either go to the ashrama with his wife or he could leave her in the care of his children and then he alone can go. He has to live on parna, moola, phalam, root vegetables, whatever is available. Nothing has to be cooked there. So anything that is available as such to eat, he can just eat. Even those, that which is just fallen down or which is about to fall, there are rules even pertaining to these. The food that he has to eat, he has to sleep only on the floor. He has to do worship or he has to worship and do atiti pujanam for anybody who comes into that ashrama. Sarvabhuta snehena tatra vartitavyam ityeva, with whatever he gets in the forest. So with this, with the next shloka, he concludes that these are the duties of a vanaprastha ashrama person. So one who is in that ashrama. Yaha tu etam niyataha charyam vanaprasthaha charen munihi sa dahati agnivat doshan jayel lokanscha shashvatan. Yaha tu etam charyam niyataha san munihi vanaprasthaha charet. Yaha munihi vanaprasthaha. The muni who is in the forest, who has gone to the forest, or who is in the ashrama of vanaprastha, niyataha san, being very attentive to what he does. Not saying, today I don't feel like it, let me not do it. Tatha, there should be no alasa buddhi. Niyataha is always one who is niyamayuktaha and alasya rahitaha ityeva. So niyataha san charyam etam charet. If he follows the charya, the actions, kriya that have been listed earlier, that person, yaha saha munihi, agnivat doshan shashvatan, agnivat doshan dahati. One sentence. So he burns all of the doshas that are there in him like an agni, like a fire. The doshas here refer to his papam and the karma that he has. So as he does this, it becomes a routine for him and it anayasena tatra kartum shaknoti saha tasmat antastha doshaha ye vartante. Either it may be kama krodha lobha moha antashatru, or it could be all of those. No, Antashatru, by way of destroying Antashatru, he also goes into the Yamaniyamadi Margam by which he can destroy the karma phalam that he can accrue. Because of that, Shashvatan Lokana Jayet. It is possible for him to obtain eternal lokam. Like Janalokam, Tapalokam, Ityadi. He can go through the Archiradi Margena, Tatra Shashvata Lokana Praptum Shaknoti. So Jayet here does not mean he will win over eternal lokas iti nasti. Tatra Shashvatana Lokana Jayet iti chet Utkrishtena Saha Tatraiva Vartate iti. He will definitely live, attain eternal lokas. Prapnoti. Chaturthaha cha ashramaha. Now he moves on to sannyasa ashrama here. The fourth ashrama, fourth stage of life. Bhikshoho prochyate yo manishibhihi tasya swarupam gadataha mama shrotum nripa arhasi. Hey nripa, shrotum mama shrotum arhasi. Gadataha mama shrotum arhasi. You it's worthy, or you should listen to whatever I am saying about the swarupam, tasya swarupam, the swarupam of that fourth ashrama, which is yaha ashramaha manishibhihi bhikshoho prochyate. It is ordained, or it is said to be the order of people who want to be a bhikshu. Like a sannyasi, right? Bhikshu here is also a person who lives on alms. Bhikshukaha becomes a beggar, but a bhikshu also means a mendicant or a sannyasi. So the fourth order is that of a sannyasi, and listen to its swarupam, listen to its the rules pertaining to it. पुत्रद्रव्य कलत्रेषु त्यक्तस्नेहो नराधिप चतुर्थम आश्रमस्थानम गच्छेत निर्धूतमत्सरः. I feel this is the most important part in the fourth ashrama, and the difference between vanaprastha ashrama and sannyasa ashrama. In vanaprastha, it is still like, a retirement home or something like that, or you are living alone away from the children. When you want, you can go and see the children. The children can also come and see. There is a slight affection there. There is still a little bit of an attachment there. He can live with his wife, right? So he has that kind of an attachment or an affection towards his wife also in vanaprastha ashrama. Whereas in sannyasa ashrama, he has no such affection towards attachment towards any of his children or wealth or wife, spouse. It applies to both, I feel. So putra dravya kalatreshu tyakta snehaha he naradipa sagara. A person who has let go of his sneham, affection towards putra, children, dravya, any kind of possession. He does not have in vanaprastha ashrama, you can have a shelf for yourself, where you can store things that you want. But when you are in sannyasa ashrama, no shelf is allowed there. You have to go, you can only stay one night in a gramam or 5 nights in a city. You have to keep moving around. That is sannyasa ashrama. So putra dravya kalatreshu tyakta snehaha, letting go of his affection towards people around him. Chaturtham ashramasthanam gachet nirdhutamatsaraha. Nirdhutamatsaraha, completely giving up all of his passions here or possession. He has to go into this. Matsara here also means, matsara is a para utkarsha asahananam, right? So you are unable to tolerate that someone is more wealthy than you, so you want to have more possessions. So when you think of nirdhuta matsaraha, one who has let go of that possessive attitude, right? So without any attachment towards possessions, he enters into the fourth ashrama sthanam. So chaturtham ashrama sthanam gachet. Traivargikans tyajet sarvan arambhan avanipate mitradishu samaha maitraha samasteshveva jantushu. Sarvan traivargikan arambhan tyajet. He avanipate, O king, Sagara, sarvan traivargikan arambhan. Here trivarga refers to dharma, artha and kama. He does not start any work which will result in either dharma or kama or moksha. Sorry, dharma, artha or kama. All he has to do is only moksha. So in dharma, because I've also, I have this in my mind, Shankara Bhashyam is there in my mind. Dharma can refer to both pravritti lakshana and nivritti lakshana. So nivritti can exist. It's okay because you are turning yourself away from all of the vishayas in the world. That type of dharma can exist, but pravritti dharma cannot exist. I want swargam, so let me do this yagam. Iti sannyasi kadapi na karoti. Vanaprastha-ashrame yaha bhavati satu karoti eva. But a sannyasi will not start any work which will result in either aihika artham or amushmika artham or aihika kama, amushmika kama. Any dharma, pravritti dharma, he will not entertain any pravritti dharma which will result in these things. So that will again put him in the loop of bondage, because that will give him an apurva which will connect him again to karma, papam and punyam. Again there is a possibility of janma. The idea of taking up sannyasa ashrama is to let go of that attachment and not come back to another janma. So he should always leave out any work that starts off arambha, that starts traivargika actions. Okay, so he should forego purusharthas mainly. And then mitradishu samaha. Mitradishu samaha bhavet. Samaha here refers to he should neither have an affection towards them, nor should he understand, okay, say that, okay, I don't hate him, but I'm not too fond of him also. There should never be such an attitude with people around him. Mitradishu, whether it is mitra or shatru, he has to maintain a neutral attitude, never show ragam towards a mitra or dvesha towards amitra. So mitradishu samaha bhavet iti chet, tatra he has to adopt a very neutral attitude towards friends or and others, which is, it can be enemies also. Samasteshu eva jantushu maitraha. Maitraha here is a friendship, not a question of sneham. It is not ragadvesha. Maitri bhava here is being a friend to all living beings, in the sense apatkale he can help during calamities, and when he is in a good position, when any jantu, any creature, any living being is in a good position, he doesn't feel jealous about him, nor does he feel extremely happy about the position that he is. Good, that is his karma, he is enjoying. So there is a neutrality with respect to people around him. Jarayuja andajadinam vang manah kaya karmabhihi yuktaha kurvita nadroham sarva sanganscha varjayet. Jarayuja andajadinam vang manah kaya karmabhihi yuktaha droham na kurvita. Okay. Jarayuja andajadinam droham na kurvita. Saha, a person who is in this sannyasa ashrama, he should always be yuktaha. He should be yuktaha is more bhagavad bhakti yuktaha bhavet saha iti. So he should be with devotion. He should not have a droha bhava, hatred towards creatures like Jarayuja and Andaja. Jarayuja here is those which are born out of the womb. Jara refers to the outer covering of an embryo, like the placenta or the womb, garbha. So any animal which is born out of a garbha is referred to as Jarayuja. Andaja is that which is first born as an egg, and then from there it comes out as an animal or an insect, something. So like a bird, which is born first as an egg and then it comes out, or reptiles. So Jarayuja, Andaja, Swedaja and Udbija, these are also referred to with the Adipadena. So there are 4 types of living beings in this world. One is Jarayuja, that which is born out of the garbha, womb. Second is Andaja, that which is born first as an egg and then it comes out of the egg. So it is an Andat Jayate. Swedaja, that which is born out of sweat and dirt, which is Puru Puchingrolya, that any kind of worms, etc., is born from the maggots. All these are born from dirt. that is Swedaja. The fourth one is Udbhija, that which breaks open the earth and comes out like trees. So it breaks out of the seed and then comes out of the earth. So Udbhit ityukte, that which bursts open. So Udbhija. All of these, he should not think of droham for any of these creatures in the world, either it be through his speech or manas or his action. So vang manah kaya karma bihi, through actions pertaining to speech, mind or body. He na droham kurvita, he should never ever think about betraying or think about destroying any of the creatures in this world. Okay, that can happen only if he is yuktaha. Bhagavad Bhakti yuktaha chet evam kartum shaknoti. It will automatically fall in place for him. Sarva sanganscha varjayet. He should also avoid attachment of any kind. Ekaratra sthitir grame pancharatra sthitif pure तथा तिष्ठेद् यथा प्रीतिः द्वेषो वा न अस्य जायते. This the reason for the first line is the second line. So the second line is the hetu here. First line is grame ekaratra sthitihi kartavya, pure pancharatra sthitihi kartavya. Take those two as separate sentences here. He can reside for one night in a village and he can reside for 5 nights in a village. If he can reside for 5 nights, then he can reside for 6 nights also. You can't ask in that manner. That is the ultimate, that is the upper limit for a sannyasi to stay in a particular place. Why is this given? The hetu is tatha tishtet yatha pritihi dveshaha va asya na jayate. Asya sannyasinaha pritihi dveshaha va na jayate. He should stay in such a manner that neither animosity should arise, dveshaha, nor should an affection arise or a goodwill. இந்த தமிழ்ல ஒன்று சொல்லுவோம்ல, மருந்தும் விருந்தும் 3 நாளும் போ. You go and stay as a guest in somebody's house. Even for a guest, we say only 3 days is allowed. Beyond that, you become one of the family member and you will be asked to cut vegetables for the next day. So this is usual. That's the attitude of people. So if a sannyasi goes and stays in a gramam or in a city, in a gramam, because there are smaller number of people who will provide food for him and his retinue, if at all there are other people, then immediately he has to move to another village. If he goes to a city, there are more number of people to provide food for him, so he can stay there for 5 nights. Beyond which, either the sannyasi will get an attachment or a dvesha towards some people. So அந்த இடத்துல சாப்பாடு சரியில்லையே, அது சரியில்லையே, you'll start thinking of all those things. The methodology that they had given before has a principle, has a science behind it, has so much of thought put in behind these rules. Pranayatra nimittam cha vyangare bhukta vat jane kale prashasta varnanam bhikshartham paryatet grihan. Pranayatra nimittam, for the sake of existence. Pranayatra, pranasya yatra atra nimittam vartate. For the sake of leading a life, for the sake of breathing and existing, he can go and ask bhikshartham prashasta varnanam grihan paryatet kale, at the proper time. He can go and ask for alms from the from good higher caste people. So prashasta varna here refers to the 3, which is brahmana, vaishya and kshatriya. So you can go and ask bhiksha from these 3 people to support your existence. But vyangare kale bhuktavat jane, when should you go and ask alms? When people have finished eating, and bhuktavat jane, bhuktavan, he has finished, all the people in the house have finished eating. Vyangare, angara is coal and fire. Vi angara vigataha angaraha, where there is no fire burning yet. The fires should not be burning. It should be completely off, and all of the people in the house should have finished eating. At that time, tasmin kale eva saha grihana paryatet bhikshartham. Prashastha varnanam grihana bhikshartham paryatet. Adu taandi, if people wait every day for atithi, then it is an atithi satkara there. So that they want to give. Even during the middle of the night and all, people in the idu modu, I'm not sure how many people have gone through that, but my grandmother used to say, during freedom fighting, people, those who are underground, would come in the middle of the night, and my grandmother would serve food for all of them. She would cook at 2 in the morning or 1 in the night, and she would serve food for them. This is not that case here. This is more like sannyasis here. அந்த ஒரு காலகட்டம் இருக்குல்ல. காமஹ क्रोधः तथा दर्प मोह लोभादयश्च ये तांस्तु सर्वान् परित्यज्य परिव्राट् निर्ममो भवेत्. Parivrat is a sannyasi here. A sannyasi nirmamaha bhavet. He should not have mamakaram towards anything. So no possessions here. Only if he has a possession, he will say, oh, this is my house. So this is my house. So I will take bhiksha only from this house. You don't come. That sort of a thing should never arise from people. So kamaha, desire, krodha, anger, darpa is arrogance, moham, some kind of a delusion, lobha, greed. These kinds of antashatru, sarvan tana parityajya. Letting go of all of these qualities, a parivrat sannyasi nirmamaha bhavete, he should not have that mamatvam in him. He should not call anything as his own. Abhayam sarvabhutebhyah dattva yaha charate munihi tasyapi sarvabhutebhyah na bhayam vidyate kvachit. A muni who roams around, yaha charate, yaha munihi sarvabhutebhyah abhayam dattva charate. Charate here is one who lives for himself, and because he sarva bhutebhyah abhayam dattva, he provides refuge for all of the bhutarashis, all of the living beings in this world. Tasyapi sarva bhutebhyah na bhayam vidyate kvachit. He does not fear any living being. Sarvabhutebhyah tasya bhayam na vidyate kvachit. Because sarvabhutebhyah abhayam dattva saha bhutebhyah, the first sarvabhutebhyah is fourth case. Okay, this is chaturthi. So dattva, having provided abhayam, refuge to all of the living beings, he does not have any fear from any of the living beings. So the second sarva bhutebhyah is in panchami, bhayena, right? So tasyapi sarva bhutebhyah na bhayam vidyate kvachit. Kritva agnihotram swa sharira samstham shariram agnim swa mukhe juhoti viprastu bhaikshyopahati upahitaihi habirbihi chitagnikanam vrajati sma lokan. Agnihotram kritva. Now this is very specifically, in the brahmarpanam brahmahavihi brahmagno brahmanahutam brahmaiva tena gantavyam brahma karma samadhina anutu. There is one shlokam in Gita. Yeah? We usually say that when we are eating some in Ramakrishna Mission or in Chinmaya Mission, this is the shloka that they say before starting to eat. That is, they think of this body as such as an agnikundam. Yaga idu madri, yagam pandra madri. So swamukhe agnihotram swasharira samstham shariram agnim swamukhe juhoti. So vipraha, a brahmana who is in the sannyasa stage, bhaikshya upahitaihi havirbihi. Bhaikshya havirbihi, with the havis. He takes this as havis. He goes around, gets alms, bhaikshyam, and he uses that food as a havis in his mind, in his mouth. So when he eats, it is actually something like a havirdanam within himself. அதுதாங்க. So, bhaikshya upahitaihi praptaihi havirbihi, with the food that he has got from the alms, he treats it as a havis, a sacrificial offering. What does he do with those offerings? Swa sharira samstham shariram agnim agnihotram kritva agnim swamukhe juhoti. Swa sharira samstham, he thinks of the mouth as the agni kundam, and then
ஜாட்டராக்னி ஜாட்டராக்னி
ஆமா ஆமா வயிற்றுக்குள்ள இருக்கிற அந்த அக்னி தான் வந்து இந்த ஹவிஸை எடுத்துக்கிறது. அது அந்த அக்னி குண்டம் எதுன்னா வாய். ஸோ உடம்பே அங்கே வந்து அக்னி ஷாலாவாக மாறிடுறது. அதான். So Chita Agnikanam Lokana Vrajati Sma. So those who do Agnihotram outside, whatever lokams they go to, whatever worlds they go to, this sannyasi also goes to the same loka, because he thinks of the entire process of eating food as a havirdanam. அதனால் சித அக்னிகானாம், சித அக்னிகா here refers to those people who have performed agnihotra. He goes to that lokam. मोक्षाश्रमं यः चरते यथोक्तं शुचिः सुखं कल्पितबुद्धियुक्तः अनिन्धनं ज्योतिरिव प्रशान्तः सब्रह्मलोकं श्रयते द्विजातिः. सः द्विजातिः ब्रह्मलोकं श्रयते. He also goes to, but here is, see, those who treat the food that they get as havis and burn it in the Jataragni, they go to the, think of it as an Agnihotram that they perform, they go to the worlds that these people attain. The one who perform yagas, they go to certain worlds, and these people also, the sannyasis who think like this, go there. But whereas if they are people who seek moksha, mokshashramam yaha charate, yathoktam mokshashramam, either you can take this as part of the entire thing. This can be the first stage of sannyasa. Then slowly, as he gets into a deeper and deeper samadhi avastha, he does not even think about food there. So yathoktam mokshashramam yaha charate, one who performs or one who seeks mokshashramam shrayate, one who seeks mokshashramam charate, yathoktam, as is been said earlier, shuchihi bhutva, who is very pure of heart, both vang manah kayatmana shuchihi saha. So both his speech, mind and body should be very pure. Kalpita buddhi yuktaha. Kalpita buddhi here refers to thinking of everything as kalpitam. Anything that we see in this world is just kalpitam, it is illusory. The nitya vastu vivekaha, that's all. He has the discrimination that all of these things in the world is kalpitam, it is just created, or it is illusorily created on Brahman. So kalpita buddhihi tasya vartate, tasmat kalpita buddhi yuktaha, one who has this thought that everything is illusory. Anindhanam ज्योतिहि इव प्रशान्तः सुखं मोक्षाश्रमं यः चरते எடுத்துக்கணும். यथोक्तं सुखं मोक्ष आश्रमं चरते. When he is doing all of these things, he should feel very contented and satisfied, not because he should not be doing it as a chore, but he should be doing it with ஒரு அனாயாசமா பண்ணணும். அப்போதான் சுகேன குறியாத். कल्पित बुद्धि युक्तः सन् शुचिः सन् सुखं यथोक्तं सुखं यथा स्यात् तथा चरते चेत्, टेक् दिस् एस् एन् क्रिया विशेषण टु चरते. अनिन्दनं ज्योतिः इव प्रशान्तः, a fire which does not have fuel, just as how it becomes very calm, in the same manner, because there is no fuel to fuel the thoughts in his mind, or there is nothing outside which attracts him that he has to go and attain. So there is no action with respect to his body, nor does he find the need to say anything, because he is not attached to people there who need his advice. So Vangmanah Kayena, again, there is no indhanam or fuel for these three things to work. So anindanam jyotihi iva, just as how a fire without any fuel completely extinguishes, in the same manner, he also becomes completely quiet. No thoughts, no actions, no speech. When a person can achieve that state, saha dvijatihi brahmalokam shrayate. Brahmalokam here refers to moksha, or you can take it as satyalokam prayati. अर्चिरादि मार्गेण सत्यलोकं प्रयाति तदनन्तरं मोक्षः एव इष्टदेवता अनुसारेण which whoever is the ishtadevata for him तल्लोकं गच्छति. He goes to Vaikuntham or Shripuram or Kailasa depending on his ishtadevata in Savikalpaka Samadhi. During Nirvikalpaka Samadhi, all of these are also gone from his mind. So this is the ultimate goal for a sannyasi. मोक्षाश्रमं यः चरते यथोक्तं शुचिः सुखं कल्पितबुद्धियुक्तः अनिन्धनं ज्योतिरिव प्रशान्तः सब्रह्मलोकं श्रयते द्विजातिः इति श्री विष्णुपुराणे तृतीये अंशे नवमोऽध्यायः. So with this the 9th adhyaya is done. The next adhyaya is 10th, talks about the samskaras. Jatakarmadikriyayaha kanyayaha cha lakshana nirupanam. So first he starts with the samskaras with respect to the 4 ashrama, and then what sort of a lady should someone marry. So kanyayaha lakshanam is given in this adhyaya. Sagara uvacha kathitam chaturashramyam चातुर्वर्ण्य क्रियाः तथा पुंसः क्रियाम् अहं श्रोतुम् इच्छामि द्विजसत्तम. Hey Dvijasattama, we are still continuing with the Aurva and Sagara's conversation here. So Hey Dvijasattama here refers to Aurva. So the best among the Brahmanas, Chaturashramyam, Chaturashrama Sambandham Chaturashramyam, that which belongs to the 4 ashramas, and Chaturvarnyam Varnya Kriyaha. The duties of the 4 avastha and the dharma kriyaha, the actions with respect to, or the duties with respect to the 4 varnas. Katitam, you have told me all of these things. Pumsaha kriyam aham shrotum ichchami. Now I want to know specifically what is the kriya that he has to do with respect to, what are the kriyas that he is referring to. Adan sonnene varolyo. Now he is giving in detail what are the specific actions that he wants to know. Nityanaimitikaha kamyaha kriyaha pumsam asheshatah samakhyahi brigusreshta sarvajno hi asi me mataha. He brigusreshta, Bhrigu vamshe sreshtaha aurva. Nityanaimitikaha kriyaha, nityaha kriyaha, those actions that have to be performed by a man every day. Nityam, naimittikam, as per the nimitta, if it is a particular parvakalam or a particular situation, avastha that has happened, then what is that, based on that as a nimittam, what is the kriya that has to be performed. So samskaraha. Kamya karma, if I desire to get a big house, what is the karma that I have to do? So kamya karma is also there. Pumsam etaha karmaha kriyaha aseshataha samakhyahi. So this is in Dvitiya Bahuvachanam, Strilinga Padam. So Pumsam Kriyaha Asheshataha Samakhyahi. Tell me completely about the practices or the religious practices that have to be observed by people every day, Nityam, Naimittikam, according to the Nimitta, that is occasional, and Kamya, voluntary. Involuntary, occasional, voluntary translate பண்ணிருக்கா அழகா இருக்கு. நித்ய நைமித்திக and காம்யம். Aurva uvacha yadetad uktam bhavata nityanaimittikashrayam tadaham kathayishyami shrunushva ekamanaha mama. Oh, idu solla maradu petena. Sarvajnaha asi me mataha. According to me, you know, see, you seem to know everything, so tell me. Adada the Sagara asks that. So Aurva says, Yad etat bhavata uktam. Nitya naimittika ashrayam yat etat bhavata uktam. That which you have told me, which is based on Nitya Naimittika, etc., etc. the question that you asked me, I will reply to that question. Tad aham kathayishyami ekamanaha mama shrunu. Listen to me with a concentrated mind. जातस्य जातकर्मादि क्रियाकाण्डम् अशेषतः पुत्रस्य कुर्वीत पिता श्राद्धञ्च अभ्युदयात्मकम्. Pita putrasya kurvita. A father has to perform these things for a son, for a child who is born. Jatasya putrasya. For a child who is born, the father, or when a child is born, the father has to perform kurvita jatakarmadi kriya kandam. Kandam here refers to samuha. The entire set of jatakarma, etc., all of those samskaras, asheshataha, completely have to be performed by the father when the son is born. He also has to perform shraddha. The father also has to keep on performing shraddha because this is abhyudayatmakam. So the antya karma until the varshabdigam, so that is the first abdigam, right? Until then, you have to perform for the ancestor. After that, every shraddham that you do is both. It will contribute to the ancestors also, and more than that, the percentage that you contribute towards your progeny is more when you do the shraddham properly. So abhyudayatmakam, it lends to prosperity here. Yugmanstu prangmukhan viprana bhojayet manujeshwara yatha triptihi tata kuryat daivam pitriyam dvijanmanam. Prangmukhana viprana yugmana bhojayet. Hey manujeshwara, O king, feed a pair of brahmana. Yugma here is two brahmanas. You have to make them sit down facing prangmukha, facing the east. Bhojayet, feed them. That is, you have to give them food. Yatha triptihi tatha kuryat. Here yatha triptihi here is as much as you feel satisfied. That is veralaketa vikam. So how much ever you are able to contribute to that much you have to do daiva karyam, pitri karyam, and for brahmanas, brahmana karyam. Daivam pitriyam dvijanmanam tripti. இதில் வந்து டூ வேஸ் द्विजन्मनां तृप्तिः यथा स्यात् तथा दैवं पित्र्यं कुर्यात् इति वर्तते. So that's how usually you connect this. You call a couple of brahmanas and you perform devakaryam or you perform pitrikaryam. In both cases, how do you know whether the devata is satisfied or the pitridevata is satisfied? You satisfy the brahmana who is representing the devata or representing the pitridevata. As long as they are satisfied, then you can assume safely that the devata and the pitridevata are satisfied. Okay? Liya yatha triptihi ngarche, as whatever is possible within your means, you do. You should also feel happy about giving them. They should also feel happy about receiving it. There are cadres that, each levels irukku. I can give 1 rupee coin. There can be a person who gives 1,000 rupee note. There can be another person who gives 1 swarnam coin. It depends on their level and wealth here.
யதா விருத்திஹின்னு இருக்கு.
அது அடுத்தது, அதான் அதையும் போட்டிருக்கேன். விருத்திஹி திருப்திஹின்னு தப்பா போட்டிருக்கேன். இங்க விருத்திஹின்னு இருக்கு. விருத்திஹின்னு போட்டா இட் டிபெண்ட்ஸ் ஆன் as one's own விருத்தி இஸ் லிவிங் இல்லையா, அதுக்கேற்ற மாதிரி பண்ணுறதுங்கிறது. அதானே? ஆமாம். திருப்திஹிங்கிறச்சே த்விஜன்மனாம் திருப்திஹி ஆர் த்விஜன்மனாம் விருத்திஹி அப்படியும் எடுத்துக்கலாம். விச் இஸ் சாட்டிஸ்ஃபையிங் தேர் லைவ்லிஹுட். தட் மச் யூ ஹாவ் டு டூ. டிபெண்ட்ஸ். தத்னா யவைஹி ச பதரைஹி மிஸ்ரான் பிண்டான் முதா யுதஹ நாந்தி முகேபியஹ தீர்த்தேன தத்யாத் தைவேன பார்த்திவ. ஹே பார்த்திவ, so there are 2 ways of doing this work, doing this karyam. So when you are giving to pitridevata, you have to give karagrena, daivena dadyat, daivena karagrena, sorry, Karagrena dadyat. Whereas when you are giving to devata, not pitridevata, but if you are doing to dakshina, then you have to kanishtika moolena abdinna kai koopindu you have to present it in a manner that you நம்ம கேக் கர்ச்சே நம்ம எப்படி வாங்கிப்போமோ அந்த மாதிரி கை கூப்பி நம்ம வந்து கொடுக்கணும்னு பேர் தானம் தட்சிணை கொடுக்கறச்சே மாத்திரம். When you are giving for Pitridevata, you have to pour water or anything through the Karagrena, Daivena. Anala Dadhna Yavaihi Sa Badaraihi Mishran Pindan Mudayutaha. As you make the pindam for the Pitridevata, you have to be also happy in your mind when you are doing it that you are presenting it to the Pitridevata. So you mix that with dadhi, curds, yava, barley, sa badara along with பதரம்ங்கிறது இந்த இலந்தம்பா இல்லைன்னா ஜுஜுபி இப்போ இருக்கு இல்லையா அந்த மாதிரிங்கிறா. ஸோ கரெக்டாக அது என்னன்னு தெரியல. பதரிக்கான்னுட்டு ஃப்ரூட் இது வந்து ஆனால் அந்த இலந்ததான் நினைக்கிறேன்.
இங்க பெர்ரிஸ் அப்படின்றாலே
நம்ம சம்பிரதாயம்
ஏன்னா திருணபதரி அப்படின்னா ஸ்ட்ராபெரி அப்படின்னு அந்த மாதிரி
அதெல்லாம் லேட்டர் வேர்ட்ஸ். அது இந்த இடத்துல நம்ம புராணம் படிச்சுட்டு இருக்கோம், அந்த இடத்துல ஸ்ட்ராபெரி கிடையாது உங்களுக்கு. நம்ம ஒரு சம்பிரதாயம் அவர் சொல்ற மாதிரி இலந்தையை தான் கலந்து கொடுக்கறது. அதுக்கு இங்கிலீஷ்ல என்னன்னு எனக்கு தெரியல.
இல்லை நீங்கள் ஜுஜுபி தான் சொல்கிறேன். ஹிந்தியில் ஜுஜுபின்னு சொல்லுவோம். கரெக்ட்.
ஓகே, கரெக்ட். So dadhna yavaihi sabadharaihi mishran pindan, you mix that and the pindam pinda pradhanam kartavyam. Nandi mukhebhyah, fourth case. So நாந்திங்கிறது அந்த நாந்தி ஸ்ராத்தத்துக்கு வர்ற அந்த they are the Pitridevata. So you assemble all the Brahmanas and ororthariyum varikkiradhu irukku illaya, you invoke that particular Pitridevata in that particular Brahmana and you think that you are presenting it to that Pitridevata through this Brahmana. So Nandi Mukhebhyah Tirthena Daivena Dadyat. With water you have to give this pindam Karagrena. அதுதான் முக்கியம்.
ஒரு ஸ்மால் நாந்தி ஸ்ராத்தம்னு ஒண்ணு பண்ணுவா இல்லையா, நல்ல காரியம்லாம் பண்ண. அப்ப இந்த இலந்தை மிக்ஸ் பண்ணி பண்ணுவான். மற்ற ஸ்ராத்தத்துக்கு இலந்த பழத்தை சேர்த்துக்கிறது இல்லை. அதாங்க நாந்தி முகேபியான்னு நாந்தி ஸ்ராத்தம்னு உண்டு. அது கல்யாணம் பண்றது, நாந்தி கல்யாணம் விவாகம் முன்னாடி பண்ணுவா இல்லையா பித்திருக்கள். அந்த சமயத்துல இருந்து நாந்தி முகேபியாங்கிற அந்த இடத்துல பதறி
வருது இல்லையா. ஆமாம். வேற மற்ற இடத்துல திலம் யூஸ் பண்ணுவா, செசமி யூஸ் பண்ணி பண்ணுற பிண்டம் அந்த இடத்துல. பிராஜாபத்தியனவா சர்வம் உபசாரம் பிரதட்சிணம் குர்வீத தத்ததா அசேஷ விருத்திகாலேஷு பூபதே. ஹே பூபதே விருத்திகாலேஷு, தீஸ் ஆர் தி அகேஷன்ஸ் ஃபார், இப்போ சொன்னோமே அதுதான் குட் அகேஷன்ஸ். விருத்திகால டியூரிங் குட் ஃபார்ச்சூன் a brahmana has to perform pradakshina for all of the people who are assembled there. Prajapatyena sarvam upacharam kurvita. Prajapatyena here is kanishta moolena. So kanishta moolena here is he has to offer to them with both open palms. அந்த பாம்ல வச்சு கொடுக்கணும். யூ அண்ட் நாட் இந்த விரல்ல நுனியில வச்சு இப்படி கொடுக்கக்கூடாதுங்கிறதுக்காக. யூ ஆஃபர் இட் ஆஸ் யூ வுட் ஆஃபர் டு அ தேவதா, அப்படி கொடுக்கணும். அதுதான் டு த பிராமணாஸ் சர்வம் உபச்சாரம் குர்யாத். எனி உபச்சாரம், எனி ஆஃபரிங் தட் யூ டூ ஃபார் த பிராமணா ஹேஸ் டு பி டன் பிராஜாபத்தியேன இன் அ வெரி ஆனரபிள் மேனர். கனிஷ்டிகா மூலம்னா இந்த லிட்டில் ஃபிங்கரோட மூலம்னு சொல்கிறோம் இல்லையா, அது ஒன்றும் இல்லை, கையில் வச்சு கொடுக்கணுங்கிறது தான். சரி, வில் ஸ்டாப் வித் திஸ். நாராயணம் நமஸ்கிருத்ய நரஞ்சைவ நரோத்தமம் தேவீம் சரஸ்வதீம் வாச்சம் ததோ ஜெயமுதீரயேத்.